distance, a voice comes the wind. There's a lighthouse shining on the stranded boat, giving strength and reason to believe. In one faith, all they knew, God will hear. From a distance, Jesus comes to wave. Heal our hearts and soul, oh God. Purify us with righteousness. Heal our hearts and soul, oh God. Bless you, Jesus. Bless the lighthouse. There's a lighthouse shining to the broken. He's the greatest gift from above. At the cross, he knew God will hear. By his blood, we're saved and forgiven. Jesus, bless the lighthouse. Heal our hearts and soul, oh God. Purify us with righteousness. Heal our hearts and soul, oh God. Bless you, Jesus. Bless the lighthouse. There's a lighthouse shining on the drifting boat, giving hope and courage to the weary.
Absolutely delighted you can join us. I'm back to babysitting today, and I've got a new camera woman here. My wee granddaughter, just 10, and she's a new camera woman, and the other wee fella, he's doing the sound. Don't know, he'll make plenty of sound anyway. Delighted you can join us for a second or two, because the grandson today was telling me home from the school, and they had the animals, the farm animals and so on, within the school today, and they had a goat in and they had a duck in and all that sort of stuff. And I was telling them about, on Saturday, I was at an open farm. It was a lovely day, and just outside Macrofelt, open farm. And it's Dexter cows, and I've had a lovely wee time. I knew very little about Dexter cows, really. I knew very, very little about them, in fact. And then I discovered a bit of the history of them. And you'll see them now as I walk and tell you the story of the Dexter cow. The Dexter cow was developed way back in about 1750 from County Kerry, basically. And they were bred from the Kerry cow. And then there's a Mr. Dexter, and he was an agent for one of the big estates, and he developed this wee cow from different traits of the Kerry cow to make a wee solid compact cow that would be good for the mountains, that could graze and very little ground really, just in mountains and so on. And the Dexter became very, very popular, especially in England. Some of the large estates had them for grazing around the forests and stuff like that. They could live in rush bushes basically, and they could fat. And the wee Dexter cow was a great cow for milk. And a good Dexter cow could give 2 to 3 gallons of milk, and all the size of it. I didn't realise until Saturday, in fact, that you get 2 types of them. You get a short leg one and a long leg, and I thought that was quite cool. The short leg would suit well around here, and the mossy ground and all the rest of it. But you get a short one, two different genes. But lovely content animals, when I saw them, and you'll see them here at the minute, and they're just lying content and chewing their cud and so on. It was just a lovely piece, and I was walking up this driveway, and I was just thinking about the sovereign grace of God, friends. I'll be quite honest with you. I was just thinking, and I could feel, and all the children were running about, and they were looking around this beautiful farm, and all the different wee pets and animals, and they were having great fun and a great time, and the weather was good as well. But a wee psalm came into my head with Psalm 40. And I thought of these wee extra cows. They were known as the poor man's cow. That if the people had very, very little and only a wee bit of a mountain or something, you could have grazed 3 or 4 of these wee cows, and they got the milk, and eventually they got a wee bit of meat and so on, just to keep them alive. But in Psalm 40, it just says, I waited patiently upon the Lord. I waited patiently upon the Lord. He inclined unto me and he heard my cry. I love that word, inclined unto me, because that reminds me of the grace of God. How God, that word incline means God bent down, just like those wee Dexter, wee short legs, and yet our God can bend down to hear our cry. And that's a lovely, comforting thing when you think about it. And we need to be patient. Psalm 40 says, you need to be patient. I waited patiently upon the Lord. He inclined unto me and he heard my cry. That's the good news. He heard my cry. And then he goes on to tell us, I waited patiently upon the Lord. He inclined unto me and he heard my cry. He lifted me up out of the miry clay, lifted me out of the swamp, in other words, lifted me out of the mud and mire. And then the psalm goes on to say, but he set our feet upon a rock, and he established our goings. In other words, and from that moment on, we've got a new song in our mouth, a hymn of praise to our God, and many shall see it and hear, and see it and fear and put their trust in the Lord. And that's a wonderful, wonderful, comforting psalm. But just when I saw the contentment of those cows, and they were lying chewing their cud, and the wee calves was lying chewing, I just thought, that's what it is to have peace with God, friends. And it's our desire every month as we show you these wee videos that you will find that peace, that you will find that comfort, that you will find the great shepherd and how that great shepherd looks after his sheep. I hope you enjoy this wee video, and I hope you enjoy the music with it. And it's just lovely to be able to be with you just for just a few minutes. But look up Psalm 40 for yourselves. It's a really comforting psalm. And it's our prayer that you have put your feet upon the rock, which is the Lord Jesus Christ.
Living by grace, living by grace. I'm living by grace, I'm living by God's grace. Living by grace, living by grace. I'm saved, I'm forgiven by God's grace.